Cigar connoisseurs are already raving about this exquisite cigar which pays homage to Christopher Columbus's discovery of tobacco during his expedition to the New World. This medium to full-bodied cigar shows off the kind of exquisite construction that is expected by master blender A.J. Fernandez. This gorgeous box-pressed cigar features a dark, delicious chocolate Nicaraguan wrapper that houses a blend of Ometepe, Condega, and Esteli filler that is bound with a jalapa binder. Once lit, the perfectly balanced and refined New World gives off a beautiful billow of smoke and hits you immediately with some spice and citrus flavors. As you begin to lose yourself in the rich aromas of New World, the flavors become more complex and begin to express hints of hazelnut and coffee. New World is a first-time collaboration between A.J. Fernandez and his father, Ismael Fernandez, which really makes the cigar stand out in the A.J. Fernandez line. To commemorate this union of father and son, A.J. Fernandez is offering you this masterpiece at about an MSRP of $6, which is unheard of for a cigar of this caliber. A.J. Fernandez invites you to embark on the journey and smoke what he guarantees to be one of the most talked-about cigars of the year, the New World. Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of the Stogie Geek Show. Doing it today in support of CRA, the Cigar Rights of America. That's right. Make sure you renew or sign up for the CRA today. And we should list the website. What is there?
CigarRights.org.
Is it CigarRights.org? Yes.
Yep.
CigarRights.org. Join today. Go there and join. Go there. Join again. Renew your membership. Whatever you got to do. We really need to support the CRA and our rights as cigar smokers, as, of course, they're under attack by the evil FDA. Can I say evil FDA? I can say evil FDA. Evil FDA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, it's real important. If we want to continue to have a broadcast like this, we need 100% support today. Whether if you're not a member, join. If you're a member, give them another year because it's an expensive fight, and the enemies of tobacco are well-funded. So this money's being put to good use, and we really could appreciate it. You know, we're working with a lot of, you know, partners in the industry who have been working to sponsor this show, and we want to make sure they can continue to help sponsor this show, and we want to continue to promote their products as well. And it's real important.
I agree. Will, I'm going to turn over to you to introduce our very special guest for this segment. Rob's a representative of A.J. Fernandez. Very excited to have him on the show.
Yeah, welcome to the Stogie Geeks family. Robbie Streitz, the national sales manager for A.J. Fernandez. Robbie, it's the crew up in Rhode Island. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm down here in Weston, Florida at Smoke on the Water. I'm smoking our New World cigar, and it's a great day. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that's involved with Cigar Rights of America. I just heard your little segue into this segment, which I think is great. Guys like you, Coop, that are Cigar Rights ambassadors that just don't get the just deserve in all the things that you guys do. It's a grassroots organization, and they're on our front line of defense, and so hopefully everybody joins.
No, we very much appreciate it, Robbie. No doubt. It's, like I said, it's very important. We want to just continue to foster these relationships in the industry right now. So very much appreciative of that. So Robbie, you know, obviously you've been on board now for about 4 or 5 months, is it?
I came on in June with the company, so I've been on about 6-7 months now.
Yeah, we'll dive into the some of the exciting things going on in a second, but a little about your background. So you kind of came up, I like to say, through our ranks. You came up. You were in cigar media at one point, correct?
You know, Coop, that's right. I was. I did a cigar show, radio show called CigaRobbie Radio. It was heard in the 6 Southeast States. I like to call the SEC territory. I did the show out of 2 places, at first out of Sarasota, Florida, and then out of Clearwater. So we used to broadcast out of WTAN in Clearwater, and it was a nice jumping board for me into the industry.
Yeah, and just to recap, was it just really much cigar talk? What was the kind of cigar focus you had on that?
You know, the whole format, we had at one time 10 sponsors, from retailers to manufacturers, cigar retailers, some people that were outside the industry, but it was like you guys, what you're doing. I had 2 co-hosts. I started out with Sammy Malakarjanan. We used to call him Single Sammy. And then later I went to Matt Yurkovich, which we called the Dark Knight, because he always had a slant take on every cigar. I was more the pro manufacturer, he would give the real world, kind of funny, new world, real world, his conception of what he thought the cigar was. So it was all about cigars. We did a couple other things. We talked about sports. We talked about cars. We talked about whatever topic would come up with callers that would call into the show. But it was 90% cigars.
Excellent, excellent. So then you said you used that as a springboard. Where did you head from there?
From there, I actually got started in the industry right before the show. I did promotions for some of the big retailers around the Tampa area. From that, got an opportunity to do the Cigar Radio Show, and I always had a good alliance with one of our manufacturing sponsors, which was Craig Cunningham, and I worked for Esteban Carreras as a national sales manager for them.
Yeah, and Robbie, I got to give you credit. You really grew that brand. I mean, I've seen that brand kind of come up through the ranks there. So, I mean, that's now on a lot of people's map there. So definitely good job there with some very good cigars they had. Thank
you. I mean, anytime you're always trying to look for new opportunities, Coop, to challenge yourself. I'm definitely that guy. I always look at something that would pique my interest. It'd have to have a challenge and growth potential. I've seen it everywhere I've gone. Of course, with AJ Fernandez, San Latano Oval, it's, I feel, one of the most premier brands in this industry, and it was kind of a no-brainer.
Right. So now you come on to AJ Fernandez Cigars. I'd say at a very exciting time for a couple reasons. So first of all, you just launched the New World, which we'll talk about in a second, a real exciting brand.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. I want to talk about that because I'm enjoying it.
You know, it was funny, Mark Jr., you were just talking before the segment about the New World.
Yeah, we had just with Paul Joyle talked about things that had come out this year that we liked, and admittedly we didn't talk about the New World, but I said we should have. It's
well, now that
not only is it a great smoke, but at the price point it's offered at, I mean, it makes it that much more appealing, and will reach a tremendous amount of people because of that.
Right. So, Robbie, tell us, for folks who may not be familiar with the New World, tell us the story of that cigar and a little about the cigar itself.
You know, we really thought that we didn't have a cigar in this price point. And so we worked hard, and because we have a vertical integration that we can streamline our price of a cigar. We knew this cigar was going to probably retail between $7 and $8, but we wanted to give a gift to not only the retailers, but all the end users who may have never smoked a AJ Fernandez product before. So we're making a little less margin on this cigar, and it is our gift to the industry saying, this is a premium cigar. It's you know, like you said, the chocolatey richness, the goodness of the wrapper for a $5.95 to a $6.75 price point is just something that you don't see too much in this industry right now.
So an interesting thing is that's an all Nicaraguan puro, correct?
That is correct. I heard you talk about the makeup of the cigar just a little bit earlier. When we talk about it as a sales force to the retailers, then again to the end users, we talk about it encompasses those 4 regions of Nicaragua. So obviously Condega, Jalapa, Esteli is very important. Ometepe, which is also in the cigar, is another aspect, and it's a different platform in the tobaccos in the cigar.
Now, an interesting thing about that cigar, it's in 4 sizes. Now, one of them is a 6x58 Gordo. And then the other 3, this is what I thought was real interesting, they were all 55 ring gauge in different lengths. Tell us a little about the thinking behind that.
Well, I'm not the chef that stirs the pot down in Nicaragua. We leave that to, obviously, especially in this cigar, Abdel, AJ, and his father Ismail. This was something that they wanted to do. So we kind of spiced it up, did different sizes with this, got a little creative and unique with it. We did something that I thought was interesting, particularly for this cigar, is we've made it more retailer friendly than it has been for us in the past, because we do this as in a slimming box, so that's 7 wide, 3 high, 4 different sizes. The retailer could put this on his shelf for less than 18 inches of space. And, you know, it's just unique in that standpoint. You pay for 20 and you get 21 cigars.
Excellent, excellent there. And then a little about Ismael. So Ismael is AJ's father, correct?
That is correct.
And now is he a part of AJ Fernandez Cigars, and are there more projects between the two planned, or was this kind of just a one-time thing where AJ brought in his dad for it?
This was just the stepping stone or the platform they jumped off from with this cigar. Ismael is definitely a integral part of our organization down there. AJ has done such a great job starting us off, and I think he wanted to bring his father involved in this organization. La Familia, it's what the cigar industry is all about, Coop.
Oh, I agree. And like I said, they got off to a great start. I mean, and I think I'm safe to assume this is done very well sales-wise, because I'm hearing retailers reorder this cigar.
You know, we knew that we were coming right out of the gate with this cigar. When we had the sales force on the show floor at IPCPR, we told everybody it was shipping right away, which it did. It shipped July 25th, right out of the show. We wanted to make sure that we had that for the retailer, that it was going to be available absolutely right away, which it was. We knew we were going to get a lot of orders going into the show, which we did. And then since, we've seen it become our number one selling cigar with reorder after reorder after reorder. So I think the marketplace is driving this through production.
Excellent, excellent. Now, it's also been another line that launched earlier this year, and actually I think it actually soft launched last year, was an extension to the San Latano line, the Bull.
You're right. This is 4 different sizes. It's a different wrapper than we've used in the past. It was Ecuadorian Sumatra. It's full bodied, but it's double aged fermented tobacco, so it finishes very nice off the palate. 10 count boxes. Again, so we're really trying to listen to the retailers and what they want. It's a focus for our company in the last couple of months that we want to be more customer service minded and retailer friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smoking the Bull now. This is a wonderful Sumatra. I'd say, yeah, it's full-bodied, full flavored as well. It comes in a beautiful cedar sleeve with an imprint of a bull on it, and I happen to love how that cedar sleeve it just imparts a little bit of that cedar quality into the Sumatra.
You know, it's very indicative of a lot of the old Cuban cigars that did that, you know, that Cuban sleeve. You can see there's a little bull on the face of that sleeve, which we're very proud of. You know, the story goes that AJ was, he's a farmer by heart, and he was in the field, and he was one of our fields that we were just getting ready to grow on, and there was a bull in the field, and AJ stared him down, the bull stared him back, and he went back down, and hence there's the bull.
No, excellent, excellent. And like I said, a line that's doing really, really well for you guys as well.
It is.
No, and it's what's the price point on the Bull?
Now, the price point on the Bull is going to be obviously a little bit higher than the New World. It's going to be in that $8 to $9, $10 range.
Now, as far as what else, last year, towards the end of the year, you released a limited cigar called El Mayimbe, which I thought was a real good cigar. And you kind of kept it as a limited run, because I don't think you can get many of them anymore. Is that over? Is there any talk about maybe doing another run of those?
No, we are going to do that. In 2015, we're planning on releasing the El Mayimbe again. Of course, you know, you're talking about that Amish-grown Connecticut broadleaf. That's what that cigar is. And we're going to release it again next year. I think it's going to be same price point. We're proud of that cigar. It's done well. You know, it was a first limited release for us, and it has unique flavor profiles from outside of our other cigars. You know, the one that we were most known for, obviously, and everybody has talked about, and when we launched it, it was just a splash into the industry was the oval. And so we're always trying to come out with different variations of cigars to excite and keep the consumer on his toes.
Yeah, I actually smoked a very interesting variation of the oval that was done around the Super Bowl. It was like a box press perfecto, oval perfecto. That was a real interesting size there.
You know, that cigar was before my time at AJ Fernandez. I was in a cigar shop in Atlanta, and I stumbled on a box of those, and I said, my God, what is this? And I smoked it, and I was like, wow, this thing is really good. It packed a lot of punch to me.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So a lot of other exciting things going on now. Over the last year, you've consolidated your factory operations, correct? So that now you're in a new facility. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, we can. It's one of the largest square foot facilities in Central America. It is in the heart of Esteli. We're very proud of it. We keep our house and our compound where we keep the tours right there on the factory compound. So we're very proud of that. We do factory tours all the time. It's to excite the retailers and their customers, really get them behind the AJ Fernandez line, show them how we build a cigar, the processes that we do. We feel we do some things in the industry have been done for the last 400 years, and then we do some things outside that is unique just to us. So we're always trying to show people how we build a cigar the way AJ wants it built.
Exactly. You know, one of my favorite times I've been on a factory tour in the old factory, and I'll never forget, AJ's taken us through the factory, and I guess he came across some wrapper that he wanted to try. So he literally had another cigar, and he sliced off the wrapper, like, perfectly, rolled that wrapper right on there, and smoked it. And you could just see, to see that and how he did it just flawlessly, it was like, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. It's something special when you're on that tour with AJ. I've been on a lot of factory tours, and I know AJ doesn't speak a lot of English, but you get all the passion, believe me, from that tour.
You know, for 35 years old, he has really made an impact to this industry. He is so passionate about cigars, and it's not just the factory. Everybody says he's down in the factory. He's between factory and farm. He is a farmer. He's in the fields daily. He's really looking over the production from seed to box, and that's what's so important. I think if you ask anybody if they've smoked an AJ Fernandez product, the one thing they always tell us, anyways, the salespeople, the construction, the burn is just always there. The consistency is always there, and that's what we're really proud of. That's something that's so hard to do, to keep the consistency year after year, and I think that we at AJ Fernandez are just doing a great job of it.
No, absolutely. One other line I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it, is Pinolero. For folks who may not be familiar with Pinolero, I know you have a natural and a Maduro. Can you tell our folks a little about that?
You know, the Pinolero, Habano and Maduro are a very good selling cigar for us. They do well in the West Coast, particularly Texas and California. It's something that maybe the East Coast hasn't discovered yet. There's certain pockets that do it very well. Maduro is obviously, it's a little sweeter in presentation. The Habano has a lot of full flavor. I think we do Habano very well. My favorite cigar in our whole line, Coop, is our Requiem or core line. You hear most people call it the core line, Habano. It's a Brazilian-grown Habano wrapper, Ligero leaf as the wrapper. It just packs a lot of punch to the cigar.
No, and that's the one I would say, when the core line came out in 2010, that's obviously the one that really put, I think of the three that came out, the Connecticut, the Habano, and the Maduro, the Habano definitely is the one that put you on the map. And that Connecticut's very unique. I tell people it's not. I feel that's the Connecticut that started the trend towards the more amped up Connecticut.
Which Connecticut was that?
The San Latano, the original San Latano Connecticut.
The Requiem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. We tell people, if they want a creamy, Connecticut, you go with the oval Connecticut. If you want a Connecticut, it packs a little power to it, then we sell them the Requiem Connecticut.
And that's what surprised me, because I guess when the oval Connecticut came out, I was expecting that Requiem, that power punch. I didn't get it, but it was still very good. What happened on the oval with that?
You know, you got to, when we're looking at building blends to the industry, you always have to look what people are smoking out there. Still, Toro is the #1 size. Connecticut is still one of the best-selling wrappers in the industry. So you always have to keep a constant mind on that. I think the Cuban blenders, in particular, they make cigars for the industry, the end user, what they're smoking out there. Otherwise, I don't think we'd see a big craze with the 60, 70, and now 80 ring gauge cigars. So we still have to listen to the consumers and what they want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think when we were talking for the prep yesterday, I kind of told you that my 18-year-old son, his first Maduro was that San Latano Maduro, and I think that was what was unique is it wasn't that powerhouse Maduro, but it was a full-flavored Maduro that basically wasn't going to give him a punch, so to speak.
You know, when I talk to guys that are novice smokers, they get a misconception about Maduro. In Maduro, because of the aging process, you usually get a nice little smooth finish. You get some sweetness to it. And when I'm talking to somebody about our cigar, I'll say it's full flavored. They'll smoke and they'll say, "Boy, that wasn't full flavored at all." It's conception. It's what people believe, but I mean, there are full flavors in there. But when it finishes so smooth, then people get a different perception of what that cigar really was. Excellent. To me, anyway. That's what I find.
No, I totally agree. Hey, Paul, I've been talking a lot. Are there some questions you want to follow in with?
I'm just really enjoying the New World. I think the flavor that you get from it, for the price point, in the sizes they have to offer, I think it's a home run, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, I put it right up there with, kind of my everyday smokes. They're at a good price point, and it's going to work its way into my regular rotation. Are those samples like just for us? Do we have to give those to people, or can I?
Well, some of us, I think we can smoke some of them. I think we are going to give some away.
Okay.
Yep.
We'd like to give some away. Of course, if we ever need any more cigars, just let us know. We want everybody to be able to try the New World. I'll give you a little secret, a little tip that we haven't really talked about to anybody else, Coop. So this cigar, the New World, we might be releasing it probably after the first year, maybe in a Connecticut wrapper.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
You heard it here, folks. Possibly this is coming out in a Connecticut wrapper.
Yeah. So It's done so well, and we know that, like I said, we want everybody to smoke it. So it's only one wrapper now, and it is a nice Oscuro wrapper. It's dark. We call it a dark Nicaraguan. It's beautiful, and so why not give it in another wrapper for another choice for a consumer to smoke?
Wow. So New World, I mean, it's safe to say this is a brand. It's not just, so it's going to be a brand kind of like what you've done with San Latano Pinolero. Now, New World's going to obviously have some more on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you come out with a cigar, your first initial thought is, I want to see how it does in the marketplace. But then we always look at branding. Branding is important to us, and of course we put a lot of time, money, marketing material into branding a cigar, which you see now. We've done full marketing campaign for New World. We'll probably might back that off a little bit because it's going to be such a great seller for us, and then we'll make a focus on maybe something in our core line, maybe the Oval, and then obviously the new Connecticut that would probably be coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because I'm a real stickler for Connecticut's. And so I tend to buy like Avo and Davidoff Connecticut's, but you can't afford to smoke those every day. I mean, maybe you could, but I can't afford to smoke those every day.
No.
So I'm always looking for something at a more reasonable price point to smoke in the morning. So I'm super excited about that, Rob.
Those are great Connecticut's that you mentioned. I mean, we're talking about some Connecticut's that have some huge fans. I mean, and the loyalty to those Connecticut's, and that's always what we're trying to look for is how do we build that loyalty as well. We want to be known, AJ Fernandez wants to be known, the company, the blend, just like a Davidoff, just like an Ashton. I mean, those are the things that we're reaching for. I think we're very close. we're making the right steps, and obviously with the guy like Abdel creating our mad scientist down there, we have a good foothold.
Very cool.
No, exactly. The I mean, so you as far as New World goes, is it? You said it's a 21 count box. I just wanted to reiterate. Is that correct?
Yeah, like I said, it's very retailer friendly. That's how we sell it to them. It's 20. You pay for 20, you get 21. So as a retailer, you pay for 20, you get 21. If they pass that and they pass that savings on to the end user, you're buying a 21 count box for 20 sticks. And that's the case because you see the price point on the cigar. It's not like we bill in the price for one extra cigar in there. It's a streamlined price. It's a streamlined box. Because you worked for a retailer, Coop, that the space is an issue in a humidor. So when you come out with things that retailers are going to be very active about, a slimming box, 7 across, 3 high.
Right. So you get one in there. Not only that, you buy that box, you get a little extra value in there, it certainly doesn't hurt either.
I still think in this country, probably even the world, people are price conscious. I mean, you smoke a cigar, you're always thinking, was this a cigar well worth the money? And so if you can give them any added value and give them a fair, a great cigar for a fair price, it's a winner.
Absolutely. Mark Jr., have we been any questions you got on there right now?
No, actually, I've just been enjoying the conversation.
And
Mark, you're very quiet over there.
I'm a quiet guy.
he just likes to smoke.
That's right.
I see that. He's enjoying the smoke, and that's really good.
I smoke, in all fairness, I do smoke at least 2 or 3 of these a week, just because I'm impressed with the flavor versus quality balance you've struck on.
It's value, right? Yeah, the value you get from
flavor,
that.
quality, value, it's all there, and I love it. And
it's consistent. It's very consistent, that cigar.
I like hearing the way you're talking about it, too. It's a good message. And
Mark, I see you guys the voice of reason and a guy that I would run into a cigar shop all the time. You seem like that guy that, knows value, is in a cigar shop, smokes what he likes, but he's always conscious of that price point.
You got to. You have to be.
You know that if you're smoking this cigar, you put it in your one of your 6 that you go back to.
Absolutely. It's absolutely worked itself in there in a very short amount of time. I mean, since July till now, 4 months. Mm-hmm. It's already worked itself into the very regular rotation. Yeah,
because this is one of the reasons we do cigars like this. If you had not smoked our product in the past, if you, let's say, had not had a Requiem or an Oval, would you now think about trying one because of this cigar? Would it be a stepping stone for our other cigars?
I have tried other stuff because of this cigar. So, I mean,
you have.
I have, absolutely.
Yep. It's working, Rob. It's working.
My other favorite one is the one that Coop's smoking here, the Bull.
Yeah,
it's a totally different cigar.
Yep. I like the Torpedo in the Bull. That's fantastic smoke, in my opinion. I got to have those in my humidor.
You get that Sumatra sweetness right off of that, too, with that cedar imparted in it.
Yep.
No, this is good stuff, man.
It's, Sumatra is so popular. It really is. And most people will look at that cigar and they say, well, that's a Marron, San Andreas Marron, and I'm like, no, it's an Ecuadorian Sumatra. But people, it's surprisingly that the people that will ask me that's a Maduro cigar, that Ecuadorian Sumatra. But it does have full flavor. But I smoke it. I can smoke it in the morning. I'm not a full strength guy. I like medium with a lot of complexity. I also like mild cigars at times. I smoke a little of everything, and I can smoke that Ecuadorian Sumatra in the morning, and it doesn't
I'm
phase
doing it right now. Yeah, absolutely. So, Robbie,
you're a strong body smoker, Coop. I see you smoking.
We sort of all are here.
I see you go to bed with Liga Privada number 9.
you figured me out.
We sort of all full-flavored, full-strength guys.
So,
guys, he called me yesterday, and we tested the Skype, and Coop's face popped up, and I looked at him. I'm like, man, I don't recognize Coop without a cigar in his mouth.
I was already 4 cigars into the day when I got up to Rhode Island.
Nice.
I'm sure you were.
Right. So, Robbie, we really do appreciate the time, and we thank AJ Fernandez as well for the support of the show. We'll be raffling off some cigars throughout the day. There'll be an AJ Fernandez sampler 5-pack. For anyone who can answer the question, what is AJ Fernandez's father's first name?
Wow.
So that will be the first one.
Email that to the show at StogieGeeks.com and receive
live audience only. Live audience only.
Someone in the live audience was asked, Pete, you count for live audience
on the show. So.
Yeah, you got to send the email, the show at StogieGeeks.com. Rob, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we, of course, look forward to having you back and others from AJ Fernandez. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Take care, Rob.
Thank you guys again. We're very proud to have you guys on our family. Coop knows I've always thought you're one of the best journalists in this industry, and we're very proud to be here with you.
It's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Take care, guys.
All right.
With that very short break, like maybe 60 seconds, and we're going to come back with our next segment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.